Welcome to Deepnight Revelation. We're going to be picking up where we left off last week. These guys were in the really big marsh, and they discovered a crashed ship that was in the swamp. And so they constructed some hastily built makeshift construction platforms and drained an area out around the ship so that they could get down to it. And they have entered this ancient Droyne craft. And using the densitometer scanners on their ship, they did find something back here in Area 3. Which is, well, I'm not going to spoil it. They can see it on the map anyways. It is the power plant. They did find a thing that doesn't, they can't tell what it is. They can tell the difference between the different areas of the power plant, but then there's some kind of device there that they're not sure what it does or what it is. And so they have climbed down and entered this ship that is buried partially kind of at a canted angle in the silt of the bottom of the swamp. Before we get started, we would like to bring attention to the fact that we do have a merch store via Zazzle. We've got t-shirts and buttons and hoodies and oh my gosh, there's a beer stein, there's a whiskey rocks glass, there are poster maps, there is a fleece blanket, there's all sorts of stuff. And 100% of the proceeds from that store goes back into our channel. It helps us cover things like Roll20 Pro or Incarnate Pro. Just all the little nitpicky subscription items that seem to gang up on us at the end of the month. And so if you'd like to help us out with that, go get yourself a t-shirt, and we appreciate everything that you do for us. All right, so that, you guys, this is the airlock.
Mm-hmm.
I only have to do this about once or twice a month. And I always double check myself, but I was right. So I'm always right, but I always have to double check. Like, is that right? This is the airlock is on the starboard side of this ship. Oddly enough, and this. So this is what this thing looks like from the outside. But if you were to look at these deck plans, you would be forgiven if you said, "Hey, wait a minute, that's an Empress Morava." No, it's not. Looks very similar though. When you're just looking at deck plans, you're like, "Hey, this is an Empress Morava," but no, this is a Droyne. What ship is it? It is a Droyne. Well, no, certainly no, that's that kind of Droyne ship, but yeah. So you enter the starboard airlock. Really, as far as I can tell, the aside from the cargo airlocks, because you can see there's a green line here, and there's another one over here. Those are also cargo doors. I don't think they're actually airlocks. I think they're just cargo doors. This is the only airlock, and so you have entered there into the starboard cargo hold, and you guys found some stuff. You found these odd crates, and like most of the ancient Droyne stuff that you found, you initially couldn't find a way to open them, and Bocephus went over and touched them and thought really hard, and a seam appeared, and the top of the crate kind of shifted forward and flipped open. And you found some stuff in there, like you found some Droyne armor, and you found there is this thing.
A prodding stick.
Yeah, a big stick. It looks like that. So yeah, you found some stuff. Obviously, you can't wear the armor. I mean, it's sized for a Droyne, and they're not very big, and it's made for their physiology. So I mean, I don't think that you'd be able to do much with it. You can backward engineer it, and you don't know what this rod does. But there is a door here that is shut.
gonna ask Pappy to stay in the airlock and tell people to fuck off.
Okay. He's just yelling out the
I'm-
airlock, yelling up, "Fuck off!"
Well, no, I mean, there were other scientists and shit around, right? And
Oh, yeah.
and so I know they're excited, but
They're more than likely all over the exterior of this craft, and I'm trying to let's see.
and they can stay outside. That's fine, but stay the fuck outside. That's all I'm saying. I don't want them coming in without permission. Yeah. This is our virgin territory.
All this loot is ours.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to see.
And I think last week I did the exact opposite. I said, "Yeah, let's get anthropologists in here that actually know what the hell they're doing, rather than us flailing around."
That's true. Oh, here it is.
I'm not trying to say leading. If you want to bring them all in, I'm not against it. But I mean, we have to at least clear the area and touch stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure it's safe. But I mean, I just figure we got a bunch of nerdy scientists that want in on this.
Yeah.
And whatever we were trying to do last week, none of us really had a skill for it. And so at that point, it's like, well, we've got all these scientists that have been aching to do something. Let's maybe bring one in that's actually got a skill that's needed.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean that is probably smart. Of course, I would argue that we have psionic people. I mean, you can open these crates and shit with your telepathy too.
I know I can. I haven't been doing it because I didn't want everybody to know I could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to leave the nerds outside of the ship until you
we just want to make sure it's safe.
Yeah, until you secure it.
Yeah, I think that's our real worries, is to make sure. Yeah, it's safe.
That would. I mean, considering all the stuff that you guys have done, that would be fairly wise.
So, I guess we're gonna follow Mel because he's over there standing next to the door, so he has to open it.
I barely know what the fuck is going on, but sure, I'll open the door.
Okay. Let's see here. Roll.
I mean, this ship's been sitting here.
I'm looking at a door.
Yeah, this green line here is
right.
The bottom of a door. Now you're gonna make me ask another question. And the other question: Droyne as travelers. Yeah. Not a lot.
I mean, there's still no semblance of power here, right?
Correct. The assumption is with those crates that you opened that they have their own internal power source. Where that is,
I figured that
you would have no idea.
That's Scion technology.
Mel, you can make a roll 2d plus either your intellect or your education modifier.
That's an easy choice. That was not a good roll.
No, that got it though. So you are. Hold on. There we go. You are able to determine that you are correct. This door, there is no internal power. You can't even find. You can tell that there is a door here. What you cannot tell is how to get it to open. You don't see any. You don't see any faceplate or keypad or anything like that. But you do find a way that you can kind of, if you wanted to jimmy the door open, you can. You could make a mechanic plus intellect or education check. Or I guess that would be mechanic plus strength.
Or you could
I like
ask,
mechanic plus education way better.
or ask Bocephus.
Or I suppose Cephas, but I mean, there's no power, so.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, you don't want me making a roll with strength.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who wants to try and crank this door open can.
That's with strength.
Yeah, I would say that, I mean, it's not hard to get a door open. Especially one that is not locked because there's no power, and I mean, all you got to do is get something in there. So I would say that's
Give
fairly
me a long
routine.
enough lever, I'll figure it out.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's just not that complicated. It takes you about 4 minutes, and you're able to get the door open enough that you can get your hands in and kind of reef it open. And you see a common area. What looks like a common area. There is water dripping from various leaks and cracks in the hull is dripping into this room. But the weird thing about this common area is that the walls and the walls kind of curve and then become the floor. You can't say, well, this is the wall and it ends here and that's where the floor starts, because it just curves in and becomes the floor. And there are a number of these seating area tables that with these strange curved like chairs. You've all seen this before in like documentaries from back in Charted Space. There's been a number of documentaries covering the findings of a ancient site, and this is common architecture. You've seen this kind of stuff before. This would be a logical place for a common area, and you see that there is right here. There is a tube with what appears to be a lift of some kind in it, elevator of some type that goes up, and then you see that there is a hallway that kind of crosses over the ship, leading out of here. And there's another door here.
Have we determined that it's a bad idea to turn power on in this joint?
No, we haven't determined that at all. We haven't determined jack shit.
We don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, if we're exploring, I mean, Bocephus was saying this, the logical thing to do is just follow the right wall or the left wall. So if you just follow the wall, we'll go around the whole place and not get lost. I mean, I'm not assuming that, I'm assuming Bocephus does not know what's all these other rooms and sees all the cool stuff that we see on the screen.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying if you just, keep following a wall, we'll look at each room as we get to it, and we can keep going. I don't know. We're making sure we got lanterns and shit, I guess.
I would say you would have lights. You guys are wearing like polycar
power conduits.
You don't see any power conduits, and you don't see in this room, at least, you don't see any types of consoles.
Man,
we could fire up a generator and then jumper cable this bitch till it's turned on.
all right. We need to bring the Zoe bitch in.
I can see it.
Zodani?
Yeah, I can see in the dark. So, I mean, I don't know if that helps or anything. I've got the eyes that.
Oh yeah, they give you a
Yeah.
+1 to initiative too, I think.
I don't. Not that I know of.
Yeah, but they give you low light.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have binoculars, infrared light, IR light, intensifier.
There
So
was something with eyes that gave a bonus, I thought. I could be wrong. It doesn't matter.
Sorry, I'm just.
but I mean, really, we're just trying to head towards the engine bay.
Oh, well,
So we
yeah.
get
Yeah, I would think that you guys would have flashlights, torches, whatever you want to call them. So I mean, you're not fumbling around in the dark. You're smart enough that you would have brought.
I can see in the dark.
Right, and you can see in the dark with your eyes. So yeah, you got to.
Is there any kind of hand panel or something on the wall?
There is not. Well, make a recon plus intellect check.
Look at me not having my rollers set up. I apologize.
No
a
problem.
recon plus intellect, you said?
Yes.
There you go. How about
pretty good.
12?
So you don't find one on the wall. What you do find is that at these round tables with these white curved chairs. What I'm imaging in my head, to give you an idea, if you've seen A Clockwork Orange, the decor in the milk bar, minus the nude statues, but that austere white on white on white is generally what you're seeing in here. And what you see on these tables as you get closer and you kind of take a look in front of each one of these curved weird chairs sitting at the table, you do see that there is a kind of a very shallow indent in front of the chair on the table for somebody that would have 2 fingers and a thumb. That's kind of like this.
Yeah. I mean, I'll try to telepathically reach out and touch it.
Nothing happened.
Put my hand on there. I figured it's no power, though. I do think we'll have to power this place up to make all the bells and whistles pop.
I would think getting it out of the mud is our first priority for that.
Oh, probably so.
So, out of here, like I said, there's a hallway here that leads across the ship. There's a door here and a lift here.
Are y'all wanting to try to go the bridge?
Battery power. If we can find the battery, we can find the generator. I mean, if this thing's got charge,
well, yeah. Then let's. Yeah, so let's go. I mean, if we know that this is the general layout of the ship, and we don't have to just explore.
Yeah, I mean, you looked it over. Yeah, you looked it over with a densitometer. So I mean, you know that whatever it is back here.
All right. Yeah. Well, then let's just head through this space right here into this hallway and up into here.
Okay. Go ahead and make a mechanic plus strength check to crank open the door.
Oh, I don't think I will. I think I'm just gonna stand by the door and look at Mel expectantly.
What was that rule again?
So, I failed to open it.
No, you didn't. Actually, you got it. So
okay.
You're up here and you crank open the door, and this is you don't know what this is. So in this area, you see that there are these like pods. Not like not like alien. They're not eggs. They are these white, possibly metallic, maybe ceramic. It's hard to tell. These pods, and there is a very, very fine seam that goes up from the floor of them all the way into an apex point at the top, looking like these things can blossom open.
All right.
Now you do see that there are places where you would expect there to be a pod. Just your brain is putting together a logical layout, and you see places where there looks like there should be a pod, but there isn't. So, for instance, like right here and here and here, there isn't one.
All right. If I put my hand on one of the pods, do I through telepathy feel anything?
Roll 2d plus your psi.
Sure.
Does it get his telepathy too?
Yeah, you can add telepathy to that.
Hell yeah! Look at me. I'm getting you some rules lawyering.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Yeah, and then I rolled a 4.
Okay, so let's see. Yeah, you touch it, and kind of, it doesn't cost you any points. You touch it, and you kind of reach out telepathically, and this pod goes and opens up, and like it blossoms up in like a flower, and inside you see that there is there's living space. Like there is not much living space, but there is enough space for 2 individuals to be in this pod. And you looking at there's more of these kind of curved, sloped chairs, and there is like there's a square indentation next to these chairs, or not an indentation, like a square box, very not the same size, but very similar to the cargo crates that you ran into in the starboard hold. And you can see that around the interior, there are, on this white, plain porcelain-like panel, you can see that screens kind of pop up.
Okay. Does the pod thing remind me of does it feel like it's a life support system, or like a low birth, or does it seem like it's more than that?
Make a just go ahead and make a recon plus intellect check.
Yeah, sure. Hey, I rolled higher than a 4.
So you looking at this, I mean, it gives you both the idea that this is a self-contained kind of escape pod or survival pod, but at the same time, it appears that this is normal living space.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, there's a number of screens that are popped up. You can't understand anything that's on them. I mean, there's like there's some graphs and whatnot, but all the language and mathematics are in some ancient language. I doubt that you would even if you could speak Droyne, and I used to know the name of the Droyne language. Oitrip, maybe? I don't remember. Even if you could speak that language, you probably wouldn't be able to decipher this because it's such an ancient dialect.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. It's written language too, so it's not like we can just set the computer to start learning.
Right.
No, but we do have that little translator thing. We can sit down and get to work on it.
And I don't know if the Droyne language is already one that's known, so in terms of translators, it's not, I don't know.
Well, the Droyne language itself is, but the markings that have been found, at least in this is a big deal. So, assuming I mean, you guys are under the assumption that this is an ancient Droyne ship,
Mhm.
which is a pretty safe assumption. The ancient sites that have been found in charted space, they haven't found a whole lot of nothing that they found worked. Like they had no operational equipment. You guys on this trip have found, this is probably the second one. The first one being the droid that decided to sequester himself in the laboratory and allowed himself to be consumed by the fungus. That was operational, but there's nothing to base it on. I mean, other than modern day Droyne.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, didn't we have people that wanted off the ship? Is this a place, a planet where that might be a possibility for them?
Well, I mean, you didn't have anybody that wanted off the ship. You have people that want the ship to turn around and take your discoveries back to charted space.
Well, it
You
seemed
had
like we were
some-
still hauling that one dude that wanted off, and we were gonna drop him.
You
somewhere.
had two crew members that you were going to dump somewhere.
Yeah. So
I mean,
Yeah, when we leave, I was planning on really trying to leave them behind here. I was totally thinking the same thing.
well, I
Yeah,
was just thinking that it may be a very long time before, one thing might be to pull this ship out and drop it on the surface, and anyone who wants to stay, if they want to work on cleaning this up, we can try to pick it up on the way back, and as well as any crew members that want to return with us.
Why don't we take the ship with us?
Well, I didn't know if we were going to have it ready. I mean, I guess we could put it on our
it's
ship.
leaking water. It is not space worthy.
Right, but we
Well-
could hypothetically take it with us and make it space worthy.
Yeah, I would think that
It'd be something to work on while we're flying around in space.
right. And I also think that we'd have to take.
I mean,
as
how many
much
tons is it?
things as we can.
How many tons is it?
200.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not compared to our other ships. I mean, if we've got space for it in the hangar, let's take it. We can work on trying to get it operational and understand how it works.
That's what I'd like to do. I'd like to take the shit. I mean, that just seems like a smart thing to do, is to take this motherfucker and get it out of the water. And I mean, even if it's leaking like a fucking sieve, you can wear fucking vac suits if you can get it the maneuver drive going and take it into space.
True.
I mean, and then dock it. So I mean, there are other options. I mean, would two swallows carry a coconut?
African or European swallows.
Well, I mean, if you take like a couple of boats and a couple of scout ships, you get a combination of both African and European swallows.
So you see all these pods. Some of them are clearly, you're assuming some of them are missing. The logic in your brain is saying some of them are missing. At the end of this chamber is another door. This door is open.
Oh, well, hell yeah. So I won't have to look at Mel.
I am pretty as a picture, goddammit.
Oh, you do? That's why we keep looking at you.
You're talking about
Yeah.
down here. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think what we want is in this room here.
Yeah, that's where we're headed.
Yeah, so you've got a hallway here with there's a door here and the door here.
Mhm.
This door again is open.
Wow.
And
There's no harm in looking.
I'm looking at this and I am guessing.
Is it a place to poo?
I think it is. I think this is a fresher.
Hell yeah. I guess
Whole-
it's powered down.
Whole
too.
bunch of these 2-person pods in here and one bathroom.
Well,
Like my college apartment.
Right. I'd be interested to look down in there and see if there's any fecal matter. I mean, there might be some DNA,
No.
and
No.
uh,
I mean, aside from the dripping water that is coming in, it is as white and clean as everything else in this ship.
all right. They destroyed the poo. This is terrible.
Have we done
Well,
any
it's been a long
dating of
time.
this, how old this is compared to the spread of the fungus? Like, we'll be able to pull its computer banks, figure out its telemetry, what its path was, if there's anything related to the fungus and how it spread and where it started.
I mean, that's the magical question. I mean, we're thinking this is 300,000-year-old shit, man.
Right.
So, and we're thinking these species helped colonize. We're at least working with the ancients that colonized space. We've seen, here on this planet, we're seeing signs of Terra or Earth. So I mean, just the cultural ties, to early man being settled. I mean, that's interesting, and we know that we're running a parallel course with ancient or really old expeditions that did go after the fungus and were trying to go eliminate it. So, I mean, we're doing their mission too.
Right.
So we might learn stuff. I mean, we learned a lot the last time we started absorbing strange entities' consciousness and shit. Just sometimes you have to look out the window and jump space for a little while.
So this door is open, and of course you can pretty much tell that this is the power plant. Just started looking through the door, you can see it doesn't look exactly like obviously your guys' power plants, but the reality is that the fusion power plant is pretty much going to look like a fusion power plant no matter where you go. And you can tell that that is what this is. However, there is an odd thing in the middle of this chamber here that you don't know what it is.
Well, I definitely want to go look at it.
All right.
So
you
can I use?
You can tell that this is not it is from somewhere else. It is not originally a part of this ship. It has been put in here, and you can see that there are a number of cables that are connected to the power plant. And it looks like this. Here it is. It looks like this.
Huh.
What the fuck is that?
Man, I don't know.
Is anybody decent at power engineering? I've got a 0 in it with a 1 bonus.
Oh man, I'm a doctor. I'm not a fucking.
I'm not an engineer.
I have power, engineering power.
So
awesome.
So
you're gonna be our best person there.
Mel and
Yeah.
Sarda both. You can make an engineering power plus intellect or education check.
Of course, I closed my character sheet.
Oh, I do that all the time when I accidentally click the wrong button.
Yeah.
Well, I'm done with this. Click. Oh, what am I doing?
But when you're wanting to minimize it, but you hit the X anyway.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, it's fun stuff.
That's especially great when you're doing something with like Adobe and you had like 14 tabs open and you click the wrong X. Like, shit.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
Like, damn it.
Got 11.
All right, 11 and an 8. It's not
Okay,
bad.
so looking at this, both of you, seem to remember. Now I need to find it again. You seem to remember hearing something or seeing something similar to this way back when you first joined the Deepnight expedition, and specifically, source book, the new 2025 edition of the Great Rift came out.
Yeah, I've heard.
It's
That's
the artwork's much better. Oddly enough, this piece of art didn't change. But what you remember reading about this most or seeing very little about it is that there was a ship found in the Great Rift on an exploration, or was it an exploration mission? Who knows? Probably a trade mission, but it was found by the RSS Marcel crew, and this has been kind of the one that you remember seeing that was similar to this was kind of labeled as the Marcel crew device. Most of the information that you would have seen when you left on the expedition would have been redacted. So it's not exactly clear what this thing does, but this was found by the RSS Marcel crew when it found a derelict starship of exceptional age lost in the Great Rift. And the most that that you can kind of gather from what little information about this thing you have. Mel, you look this thing over, and you're seeing that if the rest of this ship is matching at about TL 16 to 17, this device is more like tech level 22.
whoa.
And it's hooked to their
It's like
power.
fucking magic.
See, now that might be some shit worth turning around for.
We-
But
yeah.
anyway,
We're definitely gonna want that.
yeah. I guess we should.
have noted this.
Yeah. Does it
We're past the move we had.
does it appear like it is damaged from the time in the water, or does it look like it's just sitting here turned off and
That is hard to tell. So this is one of the few times where this isometric map kind of works, because this is kind of the shape that the ship is sitting in. It is not sitting flat. It's kind of canted into the silt. And so, the fresher back here, this J drive back here, probably waist deep in water. In here, there's water just trickling down, that's caught inside the hull after you have dried out above it, but it's still inside the access ways and still draining out. It's hard for you to tell if there's any. It's dirty. I mean, that's about the best that you can tell. But aside from that, looking at this thing, you can't tell if it's damaged or not. You don't know. You don't know what one looks like in good condition to tell whether or not it's damaged. You don't see anything that appears broken.
yeah, we're gonna need to tether, to tether some fucking hardcore lines to the top of the ship and attach it to one or two craft, and then
So
we're gonna have to go down well, first maybe, go down here at the lowest point, drill a hole through the ship, and then take and pump air into there. So, I mean, the hardest thing about getting the ship out is going to be finding the suction of the mud. And so, if we pump air into the mud, it'll act like a balloon and actually help move the ship out of the hole that it's in. And then, if we've got it connected to other ships, like tethered up, maybe they could lift it and set it down on dry ground, and we could probably be a better assessment. Then we could maybe get inspectors and cleaners.
The
We don't
other
have a we don't have a King Ranch with a trail with a winch on the front.
somebody get the Jeep and just hook the winch up to it. Um, what Sarda and Mel can tell about this thing is that first of all, this piece that you're looking at appears to be. Hold on, where's my? You're seeing that there's a lot of stuff connected to this thing. You're guessing this is probably what you would think of as like a central hub or nexus point. And it looks like it is just about 1 ton in in um, in volume. One displacement ton. The rest of it, like another 23 tons, you believe is distributed throughout the whole of the ship.
So it's hardwired in the ship real hard.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to take the whole ship. What I'm saying.
So,
Yeah, we need to radio in for some crews to come bring a big air pump, or at least be able to pump it from one of the ships. The Dresdex being one, and then maybe a second one, and we need to do some extreme tethering to the ship, and then we need to pump air into the mud so it'll pop out easy. And we need to take the ship and get scientists to fucking crawl around it, cleaning it, dissecting it, and getting it all out. I think
Okay.
that's what we should do.
So where do you guys want to go from here? There is a door here. This door is open, and there is an open door here. You can, just looking through this doorway, Mel or Sarda, you can tell that this is maneuver drives.
Okay.
All of this was underwater not long ago.
Correct.
There was water had thoroughly flooded the ship.
Not thoroughly flooded the ship. There is enough cracks in the hull that water that has come in is running down kind of this direction towards the starboard aft and draining out through various other cracks in the hull.
Yeah.
It is pooling somewhat, but it is not. It's not like everything in here has been, completely. It hasn't been completely submerged. Everything in here is wet and damp, though.
Yeah.
At the very
Well,
least.
I still want to go look. I mean, I guess these are going to be J drives over here.
Correct.
But I still just want to look around. If the door's open, I want to walk through and look.
Okay.
And just glance around. I mean,
Yeah. And I had. So I can, and this will maybe be handy for Jack. Whoop. wanted.
Do we have comms with the outside of the ship?
That's a good question. Hold on here, and I will tell you. But I'm going to show... Wes has already seen this, but... So what is in this chamber, more or less? Like... Now, it may not look exactly like this, but this is a typical maneuver drive. So where it says there's a thruster plate, and lifters really work pretty much the same way. So on the bottom of your landing skids, there is a plate. On the back, the thrust end of a maneuver drive is a big plate, and probably a nozzle to, because this thing does generate some energy. You don't want to. It's not fire and flame like a rocket, but you don't want to be in front of it. And basically, this is a mass-based gravity drive, and there's a big plate here that pushes thrust out, and the ship goes in that direction. Now, the biggest trick with a maneuver drive, and one of the reasons why Deepnight Revelation is equipped with something called a deep space maneuver drive, is a typical maneuver drive. You have to have, there has to be mass nearby. So like it's going to function only if you're within a solar system. But if you get far enough out from a solar system, all of a sudden your thrust drops from, let's say that you have thrust 6. Now you're only able to hit a top speed of thrust 1 because it has nothing to draw mass from. And so it slows down to a bare chug trying to get through space. The deep space maneuver drive functions a little bit differently and doesn't have that problem. But this, basically what you're seeing in this chamber is essentially this. I believe this is an example of the maneuver drive that would be seen on a Type S Scout, Suleiman class scout ship. They're all basically the same.
So we're not carting reaction mass with us?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, the fuel that is carried on a ship, I mean, yes, the hydrogen does, power the power plant, which powers the maneuver drive, but the large bulk of it is actually it's pumped directly into the J drive in order to make that jump. It requires a massive amount of fuel and energy in order to, essentially, you're tearing a hole in space-time. It goes into a little pocket universe that is a hydrogen bubble around your ship. But that's what you're seeing in here. And in here, and I didn't take a picture of this, is essentially you're seeing this looks like it's set up to be a jump drive.
Pretty fucking cool. But still no signs of bodies, blah, 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 nothing like that.
No.
No. All right. Well, I mean, I guess I'm going to just do a cursory look over here.
Same thing.
And make sure.
A lot drier.
All right. Then I will head on here and say, hey, guys, would you like to go to room 8? Is this door open?
It is not.
I will stop and stand next to it and look expectantly at the other people.
I'm a surgeon. I don't want to damage my hands.
I don't have any skills that helps me with that.
Oh, you don't have mechanic at all?
No.
All right.
I'm a doctor. Been working on that.
I can replace your leg, but once it's replaced, I can't fix it.
Yeah. I mean, I've got some sciences and shit, but I don't have any practical skills.
So sort of you
Six
yeah.
to open it.
Yeah, you crank open, you start cranking on this door. It takes you about a minute, and you get this door open. In here, so this looks, I need to double check because it looks to me, your initial scan of this area, it looks like a temple of some sort. Everybody can make a recon plus intellect check.
I got
Love it.
11.
Wow, Mel.
Sarda got 13. I mean, Mel got 13.
Yes. So
That's badass.
Mel, you're looking around this room, and you see that there is some kind of central altar here. Everything that may have been on the altar, and you see that there were obviously a number of who knows what they are. They're small items, and they have all kind of fallen to this corner, and that's when you see that those items have fallen off and fallen to this corner, and this corner is kind of filled with water, kind of just stagnant water that's about knee deep. That's when you start to notice bodies, and they're not meaty. they're all nothing but they're skeletons, they're bones. The other thing that that Mel notices is when he looks around this room, this particular chamber in the heart of the ship looks like it is reinforced.
Oh.
Now these
I need to see if I can get DNA samples.
Sure. Make a medic plus education check.
Nine.
Reinforced like it was intended for a last stand, or
Yeah. But it wasn't. It's not like it was hastily reinforced. The ship was built this way. Now these doors leading in and out are not airlocks, but just kind of going over them, you can see that if the ship was powered and these doors were shut, you can tell from the original design that the doors would be airtight. I mean, to a degree. When I say that, I mean, elements and being buried in silt for 300,000 years isn't going to do it any favors.
Sure.
right?
So, Bocephus, you go over and you find a skeleton that, all of these skeletons have been soaking in the water, so this is some soupy water. And but you find a bone that isn't completely rotted through, and you believe and you're able to extract some marrow from it. All of the bones are fairly small, and they're very, very lightweight.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of had the feeling they were like
Scientists-
birds, like they were.
having a shit fit that were touching the bones.
Right.
Well, I am
right.
going to try to cook one in the vat.
Not
and
touching
see
all of them.
what-
Like you're going to try and clone one?
Yeah, hell yeah, I am. That seems like a great use of my time.
Let me see.
I mean, it's only fair. I mean, this is a race that's genetically messed with a lot of other races, so.
And possibly
Look,
completely messed with
if I've got
themselves.
if I've got Sarda's approval, it must be wholesome.
At this point, Sarda's just completely figures he can't stop you at this point. It's just
Right.
force of nature. It's just
trying
going to
to contain
happen.
the damage.
Yeah.
Just accept that it's going to happen. Try to make sure you defuse any weird social situation that arises as a result.
Yeah.
I got a picture for you.
At least it's not cannibalism.
Right.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we're
Well,
not going to eat them.
no.
Like, fuck it.
It's not cannibalism if you don't eat your own species. You have to eat your own species
I've
to
heard
do it. Like,
sentient is enough.
no, like you could eat me, and then I would be eaten. And if you did a good job, I would be happy about it. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know about sentient. If it's dead, is it really sentient?
Well, I mean, it was.
It
So
was.
so
but
this is what a
that
modern droid looks like.
loves them. Yeah, so cute. We need pets.
Well, I care far less for sentience than I care about sapiens. So, sentient, I don't give a shit. Do whatever you want.
Hell yeah. That's the spirit, Mel. Hell yeah.
So yeah,
Or sapient. Yeah, sapient's really the bigger issue.
you are able to extract some DNA from these exceptionally light bones. You can make another check. I gotta look at my science skills.
This is not a medic?
No, make a life sciences biology plus education check.
Okay. 10.
Okay, so you definitely recognize these bones as they are Droyne, but one of the things that you find interesting is that all of these skeletons are showing signs that these Droyne all have or had large wings. Now, the reason why this is important is that not all Droyne, modern Droyne, have wings. Most of them, a good percentage of them, have either very small wings, if they have, if you want to call them that. Others, they're just short, stubby things. And then you've got things like the chirpers who don't seem to have any at all, or the tic-tics that seem to not have any. But actual Droyne, it's a mixed bag. Some might have wings to the point where they have actually developed like cybernetic implant or augments that they can put on in order to give them that flight ability. But all of these Droynes seem to have had wings naturally.
See, that's a good reason to take their DNA. Right there. I mean, imagine if I could splice the DNA with other crew members so we all had full wings. Wouldn't that be neat to see if we came across a Droyne colony? They would enjoy that. They would appreciate it and bring us in as part of their own.
Maybe. Droyne are weird.
Well,
The Droyne are weird. And for this is the armor that was found in the cargo hold.
See? They're just cute.
There's a book that really does a deep dive into the Droyne society and how their communities operate. It's called the Wagner Incident, and I I don't know that. I mean, I guess they can be kind of cute, but um, also just a little bit creepy. They're weird, man. They are very strange. Kind of like in a shamanistic Native American kind of way. Like, yeah, that gives me the heebie-jeebies.
That's why we got to clone them.
So you can better learn about
Yeah, that's how we learn about them.
them.
As we clone them and we watch them, you know. Uh, am I able to get multiple DNA samples from the thing, or
Go and
just one?
roll a d6.
Okay, that's how many I get.
Well, actually, you got a
One.
9. You got a 9, so you were able to get one additional viable DNA sample.
So I got two viable samples.
You got 2 viable samples from 2 different individuals.
Yeah. There we go. That's enough to start a species, friends.
What is
Melon
Sarda doing while Bocephus is dry humping the bones?
Are you able to make any
I'll assist.
sense
I'll
of
assist.
of what we thought the offerings were? I know we said that there's bones, but look, there's a place for offerings on the altar.
Yes. So that.
Way to respect their culture, Mel. I'm proud of you.
Well,
You can make.
respect, Luke. What are you going to say?
Oh, now.
And I just had.
Looting is such a harsh word. You know?
Mel, you can make a. Make an investigate plus intellect check.
Oh, a new skill.
Brand spanking new. Fresh from the showroom, come out with an 11. Not bad.
All right.
Oh, hell yeah.
So you kind of rummage through the water and around the floor in here, and you do find something. And I screw it up and spell it wrong. And apparently around this shrine, it's not really. It wasn't really. I mean, maybe they were offering. God damn! I keep clicking the wrong button. Maybe these were offerings. You're not quite sure. But you find something that looks like this. You find other pieces of maybe pottery or something that looks similar to this, but the water has worn off any imagery on it, and it looks like this.
All right.
So I go to stop by.
Oh, well.
So
We all
with
died.
These, I don't know what a coyness is, but I don't necessarily know what that word is.
So these, go ahead and roll 2d plus your. I'll let you either education or intellect.
It's an easy call. Oh,
So these are fairly.
I think these are pachinko coins.
Kind of. These are so the modern Droyne, and they have something very similar to this. Theirs are usually round or a roundish, flat, smooth rock that has these on it, and they take many symbols. I used to have a picture of all the symbols, but there's a different symbol on each coin, and they put them in a bag. And it's kind of a mix between drawing rune stones and doing tarot cards. And these are supposed to be how the modern Droyne, at least in most of their communities, They will make decisions, anything from deciding what caste one of the youngest community members who is going through their maturity ritual is going to go into, to what is the correct course of action for their particular community to go in. You know, what's the next growing season going to be like? Anything that they have a question about, these are supposed to give them insight or give them a path to go to. Not necessarily like fortune telling. The experience that most imperial researchers have discovered is that something to do with Droyne's latent psionic abilities, they are more than just fortune telling or giving insight. It is more like the correct coin according to your destiny will actually leap into your fingers kind of situation. And you find a number of these stones that are around this altar and in the water, and they're all over the place. Most of them, the water has over the years has worn off. The one that you find has this symbol on it. It's very faint, but you can just make it out.
Okay, so I'm a species advanced enough for interstellar flight for hyperdrive still fucking draws rune stones to predict the future.
Yes, that they do.
Okay. Now, if anyone can discern meaning as to this, it's not me.
And what was Sarda doing?
I'm helping Bocephus if he needs help with anything in terms of, just a second pair of hands if he needs it.
He's sending you over to get your pants and hands wet in order to pull the bones out of the water. That's what he's doing.
I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, Mel, as you're kind of going around, you find that this is some kind of ceremonial space. At one time, it looks like there was elaborate statues that were standing in here, and of course, those have all toppled and are busted into gravel at this point. But you can kind of tell that there were statues here. This was probably an extravagantly decorated section of the ship. Aside from that, there's really not much more to be gleaned from in here.
All right.
In fact,
I guess we're.
let's see, history, military, politics. Doesn't really go into. It doesn't go into like religion or what it is to be a droid. Yeah, it doesn't really tell a whole lot about that. It's hard to say what it is that they are worshiping, or what their rituals are. You would have seen Droyne coins before, though. There are Droyne all over Charted Space. They usually live in little small side communities or in kind of sectioned off centers of cities. Some Droyne are there's nothing consistent about them. That's what makes them such an enigma. You might find some communities that are living an agrarian lifestyle and have almost no contact with outsiders unless a trade ship shows up. They don't seem to have any stellar ability on their own. Then there are other times where you will see a Droyne trading ship moving along the paths, the trade routes, going to different systems and trading as almost as if anybody else does. There's nothing consistent about them. But they're all over the place. So where do you want to go from here?
I mean, I guess the bridge is the next logical location.
Okay. Who wants to make? We need two mechanic plus strength checks. Get those doors open.
I will come over here and cheer you on.
Who's gonna supervise?
Not opening that one.
No, that one is, that one is stuck. I guess Mel can try.
We're gonna have to go around.
I broke my crowbar. Yeah, Mel comes up and he gets it. And then somebody can make another check for the bridge door. Oof.
Not me this time.
There we go. That's the reverse now. So Sarda cranks this door open. The bridge is a disaster. It seems that there was some kind of large console on the ceiling. It has shattered, and there are wires and pipes hanging down. There is a door in the front that is open on most ships. It probably holds true on this one as well. This would be where sensors and avionics is going to be. But the bridge is a disaster area. There's busted stuff all over the place.
Which makes sense. I mean, they crash, right?
Right. Yeah, and they put the bridge up front, so that's gotta hurt.
All right. Well, I mean, obviously, we're looking for anything that's unusual, and then I think at this point, it's just exit this place and let's try to get it out of the mud.
Yeah, you don't find anything other than debris in the bridge. So going back, so you make your ways back out, all over the place tonight. So this is the really big marsh. And so you guys make your way back out to the small base camp that these researchers had set up when they were initially really just initially looking for wildlife. And you guys did find some wildlife that you then shot that looked.
And I've got a what do you call those?
That's
mastodon ready to mount.
Yeah, that this is what they had to kill. A big four-eyed cross between an alligator and a plesiosaur. And evidently these things are all up and down through the marsh, and so now that they've encountered one, the researchers are taking things quite a bit more seriously than they were before. But so you're wanting to bury hoses and pump air underneath the ship while essentially are you building a crane? How are you lifting?
I would think we want a crane, maybe even a magnet on it if we've got a big enough magnet or to lift it.
You don't think restoring power be able to get life back to the drives? It would be sufficient.
You could certainly try that as well. If you want to try that, you can make a, I guess that would be engineering power plus intellect or education check. And I'm going to say...
Well, sorry, what do you think? Maybe would you want to try to drive it out, or do you want to try to lift it out?
I'd like to get a lot of the water out of it before we try to start it. You know what I mean? It's got a lot of water in there.
The engine's
It
vapor
conducts
locked.
electricity pretty well.
I just think it's been underground. It's in there for thousands of years. I mean,
So
let's.
The biggest problem with, I mean, you can probably, I mean, so it would be an engineering power plus intellect or education. It's going to be a Bane dice, so it'd be roll 3 and take the 2 lowest because this is completely alien tech. The other problem, and assuming that you were able to get the get the power plant going, is that the bridge is inoperable. So getting
I think getting it out of the ground is the biggest thing, and so I think we should try to build a crane.
Okay.
We might be able to build an electromagnet if we don't have a large enough magnet to lift it out, but a large electromagnet to attach to the roof and just lift it out with a crane.
Sure.
I think that's going to be the best bet.
Again with a civil engineering type job. Who wants to make a engineering power plus intellect or education check?
Isn't that Mel shit?
I think Mel's pretty good at it.
Yeah. And Sarda might be it too. I don't know.
And then
I have a 0 plus 1. He has whatever he has plus 3.
True.
Because of his education.
Which is 2. Well, for power, it's only 1 plus 3.
Yeah, that's still
pretty good.
It's still better.
I have a plus 1, so
need to pull up my character sheet. So let's see. And then somebody can make a mechanic plus intellect or education.
I can do that. Mechanic education.
You read another mechanic plus education?
Oh,
I
got
a 12.
And Bocephus, you can make. Bocephus, do you have any profession skills? Probably not.
Have hydroponics.
So Bocephus will grow some weed for your guys' coffee breaks.
Perfect.
Well, I mean, it's a profession skill.
that is true. It is.
You asked.
So you can make a physical sciences physics plus intellect or education. I know you're jacked on the science skill.
I am. I got a 6.
Okay. Now, yeah, Bocephus didn't add too much to it, but you guys needed 3, you needed 3, and you got 4 minus his. That is enough. It takes you guys a week to construct a crane with a electromagnet, and you're able to lift this thing out of the mud and muck at the bottom of this marsh, and as you're lifting it out, somebody can go ahead and roll a what is that? Electronics remote ops plus dex check.
Got it.
You're basically being a crane operator.
Got it. Plus dex. Yep. Oof.
Nice.
9.
Nice. So you are able to get this thing up and out. The pumping of air underneath did work, and you are able to get this thing up and put onto drier land. I mean, everything around here, even where your scout ship is currently set down, it's like you're walking on a big sponge. And so one of the things that I had mentioned last week was that the lifters on each of the landing gear are basically running all the time to keep the ship's landing gear from sinking into the ground, because this whole area is just exceptionally soft. But you get this thing up, and I mean its landing gear aren't even down, and you just kind of set it down, and and there's water coming out of every orifice on this thing. It's just,
which is what we want. We want to let it dry.
yeah, just maybe hang it up for a while. We'll just hang it in the sun for a while. It'll dry. What is your?
Get a couple of box fans running, I'll be fine.
Yeah, just a couple of box fans and a couple of portable heaters. We'll be fine. What's your plan at this point? So
I guess
you have
if it's that fucked up, wouldn't the best way to do just be take the motherfucker apart, put it in crates, and take it out?
Or if we've got space in the hangar bay, to put it in the hangar bay. So we can actually work on it.
The only problem that I would see is in the shape that it's in, getting it off planet.
I mean, if you just slowly go up.
Yeah, I mean, you could try that way.
I mean, maybe we could construct like a cradle or something that we could, lift it with the crane and then take the cradle and put it underneath it and then kind of, strap it to the cradle and then hook the cradle up to,
Man, this sounds like a
few
Pappy thing.
ships. Yeah.
This sounds like some
hard it would be to achieve escape velocity with something in a sling between two ships.
Right. Well,
what's our biggest ship that can enter atmosphere?
It sounds easier to me than dismantling it and then watching a fucking iPhone video of us taking it apart to figure out how to put it back together.
That's true.
Yeah.
So the biggest,
we could get a couple boats and a couple shuttles, and
the biggest ship that you've got is a Scout, and they're 200 tons.
Oh, okay. There aren't. I wasn't sure if there were anything in between.
I mean, ultimately,
yeah, but they've got thrust 4 though. I mean,
right? That's true.
I mean, alternatively, hypothetically, we could get it into the atmosphere, hot air balloon.
That's true.
Get a balloon and get it up.
And I mean, you do have the technology. You guys can put lifters underneath it. I mean, you've got cargo lifters and whatnot you can put underneath it that would assist with this and getting it into orbit.
How much mileage do we have on the dear ship to make a balloon to lift something this big?
Right? Yeah, 200 displacement tons is a lot bigger than people think. I mean, you look at the stats like, oh, 200 tons, that's a pretty small ship. 200 displacement tons is a lot bigger than you think it is. I mean, yeah, it's going to be cramped inside if you're living in it, but yeah. So... Yeah, you would have engineers that on the ship. So one of the things that you are told, you get communications from Deepnight Revelation that mining operations have been successful. They have enough raw materials that they can begin doing a complete overhaul of all of the small craft as well as the scout ships, and probably will have some left over. Which is you'll have extras, so that should you need to manufacture spares or things like that, that will be a possibility as well.
Okay. Well, that's good news.
So they kind of break off some of that crew to come, and these guys have been doing mining operations, and so they are going to shift gears to come up with a plan to get this ship airborne, and so it takes them another 3 weeks to basically construct lifters and basically a a scaffold outside of this ship with these additional lifters and whatnot built onto it, and then they have a tow line that is going to connect to one of the scouts, and they're going to, the idea is they'll activate the lifters, the scout will take off, and everything will work in tandem to break Atmo so that you can then tow this thing to Revelation. Do you want do you want Pappy to be the one flying this scout? And are you guys riding on this scout, or are you going to take another alternate ship and watch as the chaos ensues? Or
Bocephus is going to take
Can I add any value?
what?
If is me being on the craft going to add any value to getting this thing off the ground?
I don't know. I mean, do you have any piloting skills?
I do have pilot starship.
Okay, well, you can sit in the co-pilot seat then. That's right. You were the alternate pilot that was trained. So yeah, you can sit in the co-pilot seat and try to assist Pappy, which is probably a good thing.
All
What
right,
about?
well, I'll think about y'all as I'm burning up on reentry.
Yeah. What about Bocephus?
Bocephus is going to take a boat or anything to go to the Deepnight Revelation, where he will begin the process of building a couple of drones.
Okay. And what about Sarda?
I'll go with Pappy to help.
Okay. So, what is? Oh wait, maybe I have this. I bet I do have. Okay. All right. That's not the worst. Mel, go ahead and make a piloting starship plus dex check. Okay, that is 2 successes with a +1 each. So the you and Pappy with Sarda kind of white knuckling the sensor console in back of the bridge, take off, and the engineers activate this kind of remote activate these um, lifters, and at that point, it's now under your control. Sarda, you can make an electronics remote ops plus dex check.
Sure. Teen.
Nice. Holy shit, that's really well done. So it is you can feel this scout ship is straining and dragging, and as soon as Sarda hits those lifters, that all kind of smooths out, and you are able to lift off very carefully and at a very shallow rate. You are able to break Atmo. It with the towing that is involved, it's going to take probably twice as long to get to haul this thing to Revelation. But getting there, let's maybe Pappy can do this. Yes, Pappy can do this. Pappy is able to swing, he swings the ship around. He uses his belter knowledge of dragging an ore load in a cargo net, and he brings it in perfectly and glides that ship towards the docking bay. Sarda, you can make one more remote ops plus dex check. Nice. And Sarda is able to set it down right into a hangar for you guys. I guess that would be Or no, it'll probably be back here in the mission pod. So you set it down right into one of these hangar bays. And then Pappy goes ahead and docks with Revelation. During this, I would assume that Bocephus went up kind of probably at the beginning of all of this. So, Bocephus, you've been up here for about 3 weeks.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I need to look at my cloning vat.
I'm gonna grow me some people who to fly the droid ship, you know?
Makes sense to me.
Well, there's some crazy chance that I fucking breed some fucking crazy psionic murderous beast that just ravages us all. I'll be the first to go. Because, I'll be in the lab with it. When the crews find the ship drifting and try to get down into it, I will be the one that they angrily blame for, creating this creature.
So you're able to do them one at a time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look and see how long it takes. Are you having the cloning vat? This is a cloning vat, right?
Yeah.
Tech level 13 cloning vat. So are you
Yeah.
having it install any augments at all? Or are you just...
No, straight, pure, naked.
Okay. It has a 50 times accelerated rate. Then... How old are you growing these things?
I mean, I'm not sure the Droyne, things. I'd like to make them adults if I could.
So we will assume, and this is a huge assumption, but I will just assume that a Droyne is an adult by 18. I think that's
Yeah.
probably earlier than that. No, that's not what I want. So it looks like you will be able to get a viable clone in about 9 weeks. You have begun the stage. You have been kind of messing with this thing for the last 3 weeks. Now the other question I had. Go ahead and so this is for the VAT. Roll 2d plus 2. That's a medic check.
7.
And then roll a 2d plus 3 for biology.
10.
Okay. So it has a little bit of trouble. It's scanned the biology and it knows that this is a droid. And it is going through its genetic markers. So it knows what the genetic DNA map for a droid is, right? But this tissue that you've brought back does not match the known genetic mapping. It is slightly different. And it's basically it's been messing with this for the past 3 weeks, and it is wanting essentially it wants to know how you want to handle that.
I want to go with the DNA. I don't want to alter it at all. So
Okay.
let's take it as it is.
Okay, and it will do that. It should have a clone, one way or the other, in 9 weeks.
All right. Well, that's something to look forward to. I'm going to put down the 9-week countdown to baby Droyne.
Okay,
That's an adult.
baby Droyne. That's an adult.
Yeah.
So the with having enough ore on board, the hangar crews your deck crews are getting to overhauling the small craft, and the captain basically tells you guys, or tells everybody, we're gonna do the overhauls, as we're going. We don't want to stay here any longer, and so Deepnight says goodbye to DTP. Oh, did you guys decide to bring myself with you?
I think we're bringing myself, and we're leaving the two people that we've had in prison to live a life of luxury and exile here.
Are you
And
leaving?
On this,
we've been here for several weeks, so
Yes.
we'd give them plenty of opportunity to figure out exactly what they'll need. Replicators, anything that will make their lives better and easier and safer.
Are you leaving them the base camp?
Yep, sure.
Okay. Okay. So they are less than thrilled about this.
I'm sure they are.
They are not happy about this, but it is what it is. On the flip side, they're happy to not be in the brig anymore. So there is that.
It's a pleasant planet.
Yeah, it's a beautiful planet. Very wet. Unfortunately, there's nothing here, and there's saber-toothed tigers, but
Except for a race of barely
hearing-
intelligent humanoids that want to kill smarter people.
right. There's that.
we'll put them up in the protected zone. I mean, so at least it's a little safer up there.
That's true. That's true. I mean, there are the
food already
hominids, but
growing.
yeah, So you drop them. So you're gonna put them in the protected zone, meaning the high valley.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I want. Yeah, you don't want to put them in the wood. So yeah, you drop them down here into what was the Lake Cities. Give them some prefab mobile bases, and have fun. And you guys take off. So,
Well, I mean, we can't just keep fucking keeping them if we're not going to use them and they're in the brig forever. Then this is the better thing. This is more humane.
True, I would think, yeah.
Yeah, they'll be able to run around and look at stuff and run around.
Okay, so trying to figure out where you're at here. That is. So there there are some typos in here, and I see what they're saying. Okay, yes, I know where we're at. So the next jump is only going to be a 2 parsec jump in that week's time. Are you studying? Or are you doing something else? What are you doing on your week worth of jump travel?
Actually, I kind of want to play around with that Droyne ship.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So-
want to figure out what that horde.
I'll
I know
basically
what's going on.
spend some time in the mechanics bay with the mechanics that are going over this thing.
Okay. And Mel, you're doing the same thing?
Well, I want to spend more time with the thing that looked like it had two giant horns that was connected to the
Yes. The
network.
the Micelle Crew device.
Yeah.
Theoretically, that's what it is. Okay. So let's see. You can make. Go ahead and make another investigate plus intellect check. That's
Holy ball, sounds good.
yeah, that's pretty damn good. Where did I think I clicked an X. I shouldn't have. Just did. You find. I got to be careful about how I state this because I don't want to give away too much. But you find. There it is. In your investigation, so your initial thought was correct. You see that while the central nexus of the device is this thing that you can actually see, right here. This thing is tied into almost every facet of the ship and is drawing quite a bit of what looks like, I mean, according to what you're seeing as far as as far as the power cables coming from the power plant, it's drawing a lot of energy to operate. But following, I mean, the cables and wires and whatnot that are coming off, conduits that are coming off of this thing into the hull of the ship, it interacts with almost every facet of the ship, and you find that part of that is that it is directly tied to the. So on the outside hull of a ship, there is kind of a grid work that is laid out as part of the jump drive, and this is what expands the hydrogen bubble when you go into jump. This device is connected to that framework.
Huh.
But in your investigation, you don't find any ties of this device to the actual jump drive itself.
I wonder if it was forcing them to travel somewhere. Like you could lock people in a ship and then direct it to wherever you wanted them to go from the outside of the ship, and then it just takes off and follows planet. I don't know.
Autopilot.
Yeah, like an autopilot on the outside of the ship, which makes it even weirder.
But if it doesn't connect to the jump drive,
Yeah,
maybe
it connects to the
bubble.
jump. It connects to the
If
jump
you-
network, but it does not connect directly to the jump drive in any way.
Right, but it connects to the exterior grid, so maybe it expands the bubble so you can jump farther.
That's true. That could-
It's TL-22, right? So it's way the hell beyond us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it might as well be magic.
But can we hook this bad boy? If that's what it does, can we hook this bad boy up to ours?
So I think what we'd be better off doing is let's try to figure out how the rest of their ship works.
So Sarda,
Because the rest of their ship's not tech level 22.
so
And I was thinking that if in the course of investigating the rest of their ship we found out something's missing, then maybe the tech level 22 things, whatever is missing.
So, Sarda, you said you are poking around with the deck. I mean, mostly the deck crew are currently working on these on revamp or overhauling the small craft, um, or auxiliary craft.
I mean,
There are
I
mostly
imagine
engineers. There are mostly some engineers and scientists going over this Droyne ship. What what aspect of it are you going over or
I,
helping out
I,
with?
thi- I think I just really want to oversee what they're doing,
Okay.
and if if anybody needs help, I'll reach in and help out. I'm not an expert. I'm more a generalist, and so it's just more of a matter of overseeing. And if anybody specifically needs extra help with something, I'll see if I can be of assistance.
Go ahead and
But
make a leadership plus social
sure,
check.
sure, yeah.
That
I'm
gives
just
them any bonuses.
making sure everything goes smooth is really what leadership plus 13.
That's pretty good. So I just want to double check here. Leadership is such a weird skill.
Yeah,
Leadership and tactics are weird skills. The other one on face value, when you first look at gambling or the gamble skill, it's like, well, I'm never going to use this after character creation because it's only for deciding whether or not I get a bonus on my on mustering out, right? But it's not.
no.
Well, especially with the latest edition, they've come up with all manner of new stuff that you can use gamble for, and I'm like, I was doing that before they said it was official, but because I mean, when else are you going to use that skill, right?
Well, if you read the books that Traveler was originally based on, there is a lot of gambling. And in fact, a lot of ships will actually bring professional gamblers as part of the crew
Right.
with them. And then they're basically suckering every single person that they sell middle and high passage to by playing cards against them to just drain their accounts.
Well, and they also gamble on who's going to survive coming out of low birth.
Well, there's that. That's more of a yeah, but that's the thing that when you read those books, that everybody who's flying the ships that's middle or high passage, they've got nothing to do, and so they're just sitting around playing cards nonstop.
Right. Well, yeah. Every subsidized liner has gambling on the foredeck. I mean, that's a given, right? You know. But anyway, so you kind of oversee the situation, helping out where you can, and they're not even to a point yet where they're trying to repair anything.
Sure, I would imagine just cleaning it and drying it all off.
Cleaning it,
probably...
drying it, and trying to figure out what everything actually does and how things fit together. Because you're talking about ancient Droyne technology that I mean, I wouldn't call it ancient, but it is ancient Droyne technology. It is very foreign to them, and so they're being very careful trying to figure out what goes where and what could maybe connect to what in order to see what's going on. And they're spending a lot of time in the on the bridge.
You can use the research assistant package.
Yes, you probably could. You do have the research assistant package. That is correct, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, it is this thing right here. And you would have the big one at TL13, I believe. So this is really this is a training thing. So were you suggesting to use this for trying to teach myself to be a research assistant?
Oh, I was thinking. Oh, it is. No, it takes 1 to 4 hours to train the research assistants to meet a user's needs.
Right. So you're basically training somebody to be a research assistant. So you could take.
Well, yeah.
I mean, once myself is able to, I would think once he is able to read or, speak, you could throw him into the research assistant. And he would at least know what to do. Like if you told him, I need, you know,
Yeah,
a
that
10
sounds like a
millimeter
good thing
socket
for him.
and
Yeah,
a glass beaker, he would know what those things are. You know what I mean?
yeah. He needs to start learning stuff anyway. So I mean, that'd be good.
Sure.
He'd get communication time and.
So you're sitting him down. He is, myself is marveled, like in awe of your ship. He's but he's also, like at first he's a little bit shy, but you can tell that he's quickly coming out of that shell because nobody fears him. Nobody's trying to assault him. Uh, nobody's treating him like he's less than, and so he is quickly, finding himself more comfortable here in this week of travel.
Cool.
Last but not least,
Hopefully, he's picking up a bit of the lingo.
yeah, he so he has science, observed natural science at rank 1, and his intellect is 11, so he's got a +1. Yeah, he's picking up, he's learning quick. I wouldn't necessarily know that he has picked up language yet, but he's picking up, mannerisms and the general meaning behind certain things. Like if somebody asks for something, he knows that they're asking for something. He doesn't have to actually understand their words. So like if they point to something and they're asking for it, he'll know that that's what they're wanting, or things like that. He is quickly learning and trying to find his footing as being a part of this new society. He's not even sure what a crew is, but he sees everybody helping everybody out, and he wants to be a part of that. Especially considering where he came from.
Does he probably doesn't have a language, so a translator's not going to help, right?
He doesn't have a language. That's
Right.
not to say that he's not capable. It's just that
Right.
the hominids that he grew up with, before they shunned him, didn't have a language. They had rock paintings, pictographs, but they didn't speak to one another beyond grunts
Right.
and points.
Right. So okay. So a translator's not going to help him. He needs to actually learn language.
Correct.
So okay.
And
So,
I would think
yes.
that something like that research assistant package, I would think that it's not a stretch to say that there are probably educational packages that do essentially the same kind of thing. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
So he's spending time trying to learn and figure things out. And I just got the the episode of Futurama where the professor trains the monkey to be super smart, and he gets all snobby.
Yeah, I might walk him if he, make sure he understands like how to get food, how to use the basics of getting from his room to where you go to the restroom, getting from his room to go to the get food. Show him how that
Potty
stuff
training
works.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he understands basics. So if you explain it, it's he's an adult, so he's figured out the hard parts of potty training.
Right, yeah.
It's a matter of you put it here,
Yes.
and then you do this.
Right, yeah.
So
yeah, it wouldn't take too much to teach him the basics and teach him how to be able to feed himself and not have to hunt for it.
Yeah.
So a week. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say if we start getting to the point where we're able to get some rudimentary conversations, try to see if there's jobs around that he's would be interested in doing. Whether it might be serving food, it might be cleaning floors. Basic stuff that we think he could do that he might be interested in.
So yeah, I mean, so far, his most of his affinity, he's not sure where he's going to fit in yet. Obviously, because it's only been a week, but
right.
He is clinging to each of you. So like he might spend some time with Sarda as he's poking around this Droyne ship. He might spend some time with Mel while he's poking around the Myselcry device. And he does tend to spend quite a bit of time watching Bocephus. He seems, after watching Bocephus actually bring one of the hominids back to life, he has this both fear and reverence for what it is that Bocephus is able to do, and he's trying to make the connection to understand that Bocephus didn't conjure him back to life, that he was actually using a device that is capable of doing that. So he does seem to spend a lot of time watching Bocephus. Well, that could be good or bad.
Can't figure he'd be just staring out the viewport whenever fucking possible.
Right.
It's when Bocephus introduces him to hallucinogens, so we have to worry.
Yes. So a week goes by, and
wait till he can at least communicate before giving him stuff.
Before giving him the mushrooms.
Yeah.
You come out of jump into the DSA, Deep Space Anomaly 3 system, and immediately this is a very peculiar system. It appears to consist of a brown dwarf that is orbited by a small group of planets or moons. There are gas giants. This is a gas giant, and this is a small gas giant. Oh, I guess there's 2 small gas giants and a large gas giant. And then there is the high-density terrestrial planet here. But initially, when you left DTP, there was some kind of strange phenomena from here where they were picking up strange gravitational patterns. And, when you show up, initially you don't see much of anything out of the ordinary. I think I have. Yeah, I have, I believe. Yep, DSA 3 system scan. This shows pretty much everything. And their sensor scan, they pick up a very odd stellar nebula that is pretty much surrounding this entire system. And it is in that nebula that they start to pick up these strange gravitational readings. And unfortunately, in order to jump out of here, the ship's going to have to go through that nebula and get to the other side before they can jump.
Wait, why? What?
Because that's the route that they have to go.
I gotcha. Okay.
And because of the gravitational anomalies, it's too risky to jump, through the nebula or within the nebula. You're going to have to go through it and then get some distance and then initiate jump. We will pick that up next week on Friday night at 6 o'clock.
The one thing that we'd want to do is we'd want to give that guy, what's the little personal assistant, the little My Little Buddy type.
Yes, the little yeah, that's what I was
Tiki?
thinking. It is
digital friend. A digital friend.
Digital friend, yes.
Yeah, we want to give a digital friend to our buddy to have him and basically have it so that I don't know if we have it set up so that if you it will just say out loud the name of whatever he's pointing the thing at. That would be really helpful.
I don't see why you couldn't do that. I mean, yeah, digital friend is on page 70 of the Central Supply Catalog. It says
it's got bandwidth too, so hypothetically we could put a translation program on there and then have it basically,
but
just say out
but
loud.
It's like a Tamagotchi. If you forget to feed it, then it dies and you have to start over.
We don't do anything that cruel. I'm just thinking it'd be very handy if I was trying to learn a new language, it'd be handy if I could just sort of point that at a thing and it says cup. And you're like, oh, okay, I can learn the names of things this way.
Yeah, I mean,
also it wouldn't drive us crazy as he's having to explain things.
Yeah, exactly. I would think that this would be a lot like a really advanced speak and spell kind of situation. You point it at something, it'll be like, that's a cup. Yeah, you can do that.
And in the meantime, we probably have some folks that are linguists. And it might be exciting to all of a sudden work with an adult who's never learned a language. So let them have fun with that.
Yeah, definitely.
But in the meantime, I want to make sure that he feels like he's set. And, if at a certain point in the future he wants a job of some sort, we can definitely...
Yeah, get him to a point where doing research assistant will actually he'll be able to, grab what it's trying to tell him and move forward with it. But yeah,
right.
We can definitely do that.
All right, cool.
All right.
Yeah. See you tomorrow.
I will see you tomorrow. I'll see you guys next week.
Night.
Good night.
Take care.